This is Leggacy Radio.
Okay, I'm here in the studio with two of the main members of the Axone-based band Iron Hands. You may have previously known them as the band The Colliers. They've travelled all over the UK. They're currently signed to Riverduke, and they're here to announce a brand new tour. So how are you, lads?
Yeah, fine.
Wicked.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. So we've got Harry Bullas, the bassist, and Chris Garbutt, who's now taking over vocals and continuing with the guitar as well. How are things looking then for the band?
It's been busy, definitely really busy, obviously, like you say there, since the turnaround. Go on tour, start a tour this December, so we're just working towards that at the minute, looking out in the practice room, getting the set together. We're looking at like a 25-minute to half an hour slot every night on them Angel at My Table gigs on the tour. So really pushing towards that, obviously whole new material, complete new set, stuff that we've never been out and played before. The reshuffle in the lineup means that everyone's having to do a bit more work than before now, so it's going well.
So yeah, you mentioned this tour with label mates then, Angel at My Table.
Yeah.
Have you toured with them before?
No, we've never toured with them before. We played with them last year.
That was at Sheffield
I'll say last year. It wasn't last year. It was this year. At Sheffield Corporation, yeah, like you said there, and we were quite impressed with both the songs and their lights.
And their lights.
Yeah, I really like the lights, man. The best lights. I wanted them straight away.
All right, that's fair dues then. Word of warning out to like any of previous Colliers fans then. Is there anything that you can tell your current fans at the minute how it's sounding for Iron Hands? What they're going to expect from this debut EP, Noise Yard?
Well, it's a different sound to what we had before. It's much more aggressive, sort of thinking Black Sabbath, Foo Fighters mixed with like the Beatles, that kind of. So it's still got a pop edge to it, but it's definitely got a heavier sound overall, but all I can say is just wait and see and let us know if you like it.
Alright, great. So so you guys are definitely heading down the heavier route of what you've originally been in before.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a bit more direct this time around. I think the songs as a whole fit together on an EP. They're much more solid as a bank and certainly pushing in quite a focused way in comparison to the old band, to the Colliers. So it's going to be interesting to get on tour, start playing these live shows, get things ticking, see how people warm to it. That's the first thing for us, really. Going out on tour straight away, having just been a band for a couple of months is really key for us, and then we can get that immediate reaction of going and playing shows such as like Sheffield O2 and then Newcastle up at Think Tank, venues like that are regarded quite highly in the UK, and get a good reaction from people, hopefully.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll give people a clip of one of your tracks. This is Welcome Home, and then we're going to continue chatting about a few bits and bobs to do with Iron Hands then. Absolutely loving that track. That was Welcome Home by Iron Hands. I'm absolutely loving the guitar tone in the break. That's where did you get the influence for that? Where was that from?
That originally came from when we first demoed the track. Me and Luke out of the band were just messing around with a few guitar tones, and we layered. I played this riff and it had loads of sort of weird effects on, and we layered it with like a vocoder sound. And it sort of has come together to make this really sort of ambient, almost like alien kind of tone.
It is. It's crazy that. And there's also a part in the song where there's a lot of strings involved, isn't there?
Yeah.
Are they real strings?
They're the real samples of strings.
Right. Okay.
So when they were originally recorded, they would have been real, but they're in like one of these computer programs, and our producer Russ Williams, he put sort of like a 40s kind of edge on it, did loads of the sound bending to make it sound kind of
sound bending, is that a thing?
Well, it's what I would describe it as.
It is now. We can't afford violin players. Come on.
So you got to go for sound bending.
You've got to bend that sound, man.
Got to bend that sound. But yeah, you can definitely tell that you guys are going down a different route, but it sounds a hell of a lot better. It sounds a hell of a lot more sort of where you guys would be enjoying it. Do you enjoy playing it more so as well? As a live band, do you enjoy playing it heavier?
Definitely, man, yeah. We had this group of songs for a short while before obviously Mitchell left. And I think when he left, it opened up the doors for us to really think, right, we've got a fresh start now. We can actually come out with something that we're all really, really proud of and we all believe in. So yeah, we always wanted to go for like a more widescreen sound, and that's really where we've kind of came up with those strings for in Welcome Home previously.
So alongside that, you're going to be releasing a track called Lady Chronic, which is going to be the first single off the EP, The Noise Yard.
Yeah.
How do you think that shapes up then alongside the other tracks that you've also recorded?
Lady's definitely got more of a pop edge. It's kind of it was deliberately wrote in a way to be, for the chorus to kind of be catchy and memorable for people to learn. But I think it's definitely got elements in the track which hold it into the new sound, I would say. Yeah.
Well, I've also noticed as well that you've also got another 3 tracks on there. So you've got one called Hard to See, another one called Is it Tyrannosaurus?
As in the dinosaur.
As in the dinosaur.
Yeah.
So where's this coming from? What's that all about?
Unfortunately, I'm dyslexic, so I don't know how to spell Tyrannosaurus. So that's kind of where that spelling came from. I don't know if it's right or not.
Oh no, that one on that sheet is the correct spelling. But yeah, Tyrannosaurus.
No, that was actually wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why I was. That's why I didn't know how to say it.
Turns out I can't spell Tyrannosaurus too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. So, is there any? What's the meaning behind that then?
Well, it's a little bit of a cheeky one, that song. It is. We had a few versions of that song before we recorded it, and I listened to I think it was 20th Century Boy by T-Rex, and I was like, this is kind of how that song needs to be. That sort of before it was swung, like the beat was all swung, but when I heard that riff and that compared it to how our riff could be, if you know what I mean, with a straighter beat, that's kind of where the influence of like structuring that song came from. So that's just kind of a throwback to T-Rex, really, the Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, I'm liking that. Yeah. All right, cool. I see the connection now. I just thought you'd written a song about some sort of dinosaur, and just gone along with it.
It's not about a dinosaur.
Okay then. So you've got a gig coming up very, very soon in December. You're playing alongside Ameira. It's their last show. It's a gig called Alter Ego, and that's at Cafe Independent. What do you think of the overall idea of a band actually having that sort of final farewell? Because they've actually undergone the exact same situation that you guys did, but they've decided to say goodbye to it all, whereas you guys are carrying on. So what do you think of the whole situation of the band actually doing that?
Yeah, it's obviously it's a shame to see Ameira go. You want, as a band member, you want other decent bands in the area pushing the local scene. You feel that if there's more bands going for it at once, then you're stronger as a unit. And we're seeing in the charts this week, looked on Sunday's chart, you've got one band, just one in the UK top 20, and I think that was Rixton. And so you need these bands coming through, and like Ameira, they got that. It's less than a year since they were featured as Radio 1's BBC Introducing Track of the Week, or Track of the Day. So it's hard for bands though. It's hard for bands. You can land on things like that, but the financial implications and the way the industry is imploding on itself, it's a hard place to be. So I can't knock them. They've tried it for a few years, and the singers decided that it needs to be done. And I think they're, how old are they now? Are they?
I think they're early 20s now. So
yeah. So he's maybe looking at it. If it wasn't going to happen in the next couple of years, was it ever going to? And you don't know what their personal circumstances are. You don't know what other commitments and things they've got. So, but yeah, it's the farewell gig. It's you. If you've been a band for that long and you're all still friends, then go for it. Go for one last big one. And that's why we've jumped on it, because we're thinking we've never played with Ameira. never played with him as the old band, so we thought we'd go in as Iron Hands. We feel we fit with their sound a little bit more now as well, with an ideal main support. And of course we haven't done Scunthorpe for a while, so, and of course there's loads of reasons for us to do it. Cafe Indie, we'd never been down there. It looks a cool venue. I nipped in for a coffee a few weeks ago, and it's got something about it. It's quirky, it's interesting for Scunthorpe, so looking forward to like playing in what is Scunthorpe's newest venue.
You've got to think about the promoter as well. I mean, you know what I mean. That must be one of the main parts about it. How
he's
just
all right.
Awesome this guy is.
He's not a bad guy. Met him a few times.
But the thing is, though, it's hard in Scunthorpe because you've got promoters that they're putting on gigs, but they're not promoting.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's a few out there that are selling tickets. We've done like many a gig in the past for like Darren Lappin on his Tashless Promotions gigs, and they've been absolutely cracking nights. But there's
awesome gigs
people. Yeah, a really good calibre of bands as well. And there's people out there, though, that they're calling themselves promoters, but all they're doing is booking bands and putting them in a room. They're not actually promoting. Yeah, they're pinning up some posters, but you're not shifting tickets, and bands need them promoters. So maybe if Ameira had more of those promoters working for them selling tickets, then you never know where it might have gone for them guys, because they wrote decent material.
Yeah, so what do you actually think of the Scunthorpe scene in general then? Because you guys have been around the area and playing for quite a while now anyway. What do you think of the scene at the moment as such for bands and for promoters coming back and playing a gig like that, you know?
There's definitely something happening at the minute in Scunthorpe, just like you say, when Cafe Independent opened, it's kind of opened up opportunities for bands. It's given, you know, a decent place in the town centre, not too big, not too small, where people can like actually put on a nice show, just like yourself. But it's just like Harry said earlier, you need bands in Scunthorpe playing and, you know, trying it, because the more bands that become successful from Scunthorpe, the more attention the area is going to get, the more money it's going to get put into it in the long run. So it is a real shame to see Ameira, you know, having to fold, but they've obviously got their reasons. But, you know, there is people, I mean, Darren Lappin, we've said it before, but he really goes out of his way to put on a good show, but he just wants, from my point of view, he just wants everybody that goes to the gig to have a good time, enjoy it, and then that way people are more likely to come back. But, you know, it's easy to put on a gig, but promoting it is difficult, especially with the way like the X Factor is and stuff like that. Home entertainment, people are just staying in, so it's just trying to drag people out the homes, isn't it, off the sofa.
Yeah, it's such a shame to not see people go out that way. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have a bit of a listen to Ameira, seeing as though it is their final gig coming up very, very soon, and it's very sad for all of us to see them go. To be fair, we've all heard of them at least once or twice, and they've worked hard, and it's just a shame. It is a shame. So here it is. That inside of my mind, I'm never satisfied, so I'll stay forever. Even when I die, I'll never close my eyes, and we'll stay together. Even when we die, we never close our eyes. So there we have it. That was Ameira. You can actually catch them on the 20th of December down at Cafe Independent. That's an alter ego gig. They're being supported by Iron Hands, of course, and also Odd Rival that have come up from London to come and play. So that's an SMB management gig and Scunthorpe nights. You guys are obviously still wanting to tour around the UK as the new lineup as such. You guys have been back to Scunthorpe every now and again, but you don't tend to sort of hang around, do you? You seem to sort of go to different places around the UK and try the water out in different areas and things like that. Do you think that's better for bands to do that as such, instead of staying in the area and trying to win the hearts of the local people?
I think the local scene is really important, and we've had really, really good feedback, especially from where we're from, the Isle of Axholme, like taking coaches out on to tour gigs at Sheffield and so on, Newcastle on the last tour, and we've had great support from the local area. But I think it's really important not to get stuck in Scunthorpe. Yeah,
so would you definitely say, as a word of warning and also a bit of information towards unsigned bands, to not play their local area as much?
It's easy. It's very easy to kind of when you start selling a few tickets and you're getting people to your gigs, to kind of start thinking, oh well, this is going in a certain direction. But like Harry says, it is important to try and pinpoint and target your sort of 5-6 major cities in the UK and start at least trying to sell a few tickets there. It is really important to get your local town behind you, your local scene. You know, if you're playing in Scunthorpe this week and you're playing again the week after, it's becoming less of a special event when you play in your own town. You want it to be like the band's back, they're on, get a bit of excitement. But if you're there all the time, I think to people it becomes nothing new, does it? It's just a normal thing. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it is really important to smash your local scene, and we've done a lot of gigs in the Isle of Axholme, and like they've been so good to us. Like the people there really got behind the band, and those people, we're then carrying them out onto the tours. They're buying the tour tickets, coming to see us at Sheffield O2 Corporation and places across the UK. So yes, I mean, if I'm giving advice to a band that's just starting out, you've got to get gigs under your belt. You've got to go out. You've got to do 50, 60 gigs before you can be thinking, right, okay, well, I'm going to go to Manchester and I'm going to try and impress 60, 80 people that I've never met. So yeah, smash your local scene at first, but don't get stuck in it forever.
That's some absolutely fantastic advice, and I'm sure loads of bands would be able to take that on really well. So you can definitely catch Iron Hands, obviously, at Alter Ego, which is happening at Cafe Independent on the 20th. Lads, can you obviously finally give me a bit of info on your social media, where to find you on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Well, what's all this about? Where can we find you?
Well, we've got Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
www.facebook.com/
Iron Hands Official. So it's Iron Hands Official for the Facebook, then at Iron Hands UK for Twitter and Instagram. We've only got 2 pictures on there, so maybe wait a bit.
You've got to use it though these days.
Better than no
media.
Pictures. No, better than no pictures, isn't it? So obviously you guys are going to be supporting Angel at My Table very, very soon. So we've got to make sure that you let them know what cities are you going to be playing in then.
Yeah, we're joining Angel at My Table. We're joining for just getting our first shows under the belt, like we say. Just doing 3 dates. We're doing Manchester is the first night. That one's at Sound Control. We played there earlier on in the year. Really nice venue. Then it's Sheffield for the O2, Newcastle at Think Tank. So there are 3 on that tour. So if anyone wants to come, it'd be greatly appreciated, because we like to see fans there, and we also like to put petrol in the van. So it would.
Well, there you have it then. If you can't see them on tour with Angel at My Table, then you can always catch them in Scunthorpe, and that's on the 20th.
We've got a new little support slot that we can actually announce today as well.
Oh, go for it, announce it.
If you can't make the Angel at My Table one, last Carnival can't do a Sheffield show without us, apparently. So we're playing on their tour. That one's the Thursday the 12th. That's at the O2 Sheffield as well. So we're jumping on there, just going to be playing early on that night. So that should be a good one if you can't make the Angel at My Table or the Scunthorpe show. Just keeps us busy in December, keeps us ticking.
Another local band on the last Carnival gig as well. Got the Mighty Recruits.
The Mighty Recruits, absolutely. So, and that's obviously going to be their first gig at O2 Academy. So it should be really cool.
Yeah, it'll be a great gig.
We're hoping to get quite a lot of people there. So it should sound really good. I like how the whole shameless self-promotion just sort of popped up then again.
You need to do it. It's got to near the end of the interview now, so I'm figuring if anyone's still listening at this point, then they must reasonably like us, so we can go for it now,
talk
can't
about
we?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys in, and I'm really, really looking forward to what you've got to bring to the table, and I'm definitely going to be purchasing the new EP. That EP should be coming out very soon, and it's called The Noise Yard.
Wicked.
So good luck on tour, lads.
Thank you.
Man.
Cheers.
Later.
You're listening to Leggacy Radio.